Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 173. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should be because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app. We want you to be on it. For $3.99 a month, you can be part of that app. And with that, you'll get access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit, and she will deliver to your app, to your calendar, 3 bodyweight exercises every week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs. For $9.99 per month, you can have access to all the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer, everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to Spartan races to triathlons. Go to www.liftheavyrunlong.com. Click on the Sign Up Now button. What is that?
Me?
Click on the Sign Up Now button. If you have a program, see a program that you like, enter in your email address, and we will add you to the app for a week. And if at the end of the week you'd like to sign up, please do that. If you do not want to be added to the app, then just let it expire, and nothing gets charged. No credit cards are used. Nothing like that. Y'all try to be more distracting. Here? If you can possibly be more distracting during this opening that I worked so hard on.
Then just close your eyes and talk.
I can't close my eyes and talk. You're too loud. And this heater.
Nobody can hear it.
Can we talk about the fact that I'm not complaining about it? I planned on not complaining about it.
The fact that I'm not complaining about it as I planned.
You're the best.
Y'all did this to me. The opening was going so good. I worked on it all week.
Remember, you're being a better person.
That's right.
Who's sitting to the right of you?
My favorite person, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, Jackton Tan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. I forgive you for being loud earlier. I want you to know that.
I wasn't being loud.
For distracting me.
Okay.
Tell me how you are.
How could she's like the apple of your eye.
That's very true.
She has to be a constant distraction for you.
This is very true.
I'm doing good. Had a good day today. I watched old Christmas, like claymation and cartoons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
We're going to talk about everything.
I haven't got to that one yet, but that one was going to come on next.
You know, there's a petition to ban those.
Why?
Get out of here.
Because of bullying.
Oh my God.
Because Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was bullied.
Oh my God!
And it's a survival story because he didn't kill
Are you
himself.
serious about that?
There's actually a petition to have it removed from TV because it sets a bad example for kids.
Well,
but Rudolph came out of it stronger on the other side.
That is the other side of the discussion.
That's big thirsty Brian Swanson.
Who?
Out from behind the camera, out from suspension, and back on the couch. He's on a 1-week streak.
Apparently, I was booted last week.
Well, we had a meeting and decided we'd let you have another week.
But
is that
Vaughn
because
didn't
I
tell
showed
you,
back up?
And then when you showed up, it was awkward. So I didn't want to say anything. I should have been more assertive, but I didn't know how to handle that.
That's okay.
And to Thirsty's right, we have the Reverend Vaughn Rose.
Yes, I am here, aren't I?
Howdy.
Man, you're looking good. You got a good
colorful
wardrobe.
Yeah, it's colorful.
Thank you.
How do you go about doing that? You pick your own clothes out?
No, my wife helps me.
Does she?
Yes.
Does she do it on the reg? I mean, you got a lot of nice duds.
So, totally not trolling you when I ask this, but like, does she buy your clothes or does she actually like decide what you're wearing each day?
No, no, she doesn't do that. No,
I swear I wasn't trying to be mean.
I don't think that's an odd question at all.
She helps me pick out clothes.
She helps you figure out what to buy.
Yeah.
When he goes to the shower each morning, she lays out what he's going to wear for the day.
I wouldn't
Oh,
judge. You
no,
know,
no, no,
I wish
just
I wish that was
Just
my
kidding.
life was that easy.
I'm totally down with that.
I would totally be on board with.
Yeah.
We
with-
are not that organized
Okay.
at all. We are the furthest.
Fair
from
enough.
that.
Like I swear I was not trolling when I asked that question. So,
yeah.
okay.
I bought a pair of pants a couple of weeks ago, a pair of jeans.
And she said enough
Target.
of that.
No,
I have
I
to
wasn't
go
by
with
myself. I was with her, and I just bought the wrong size, and so I wore these jeans for like a week. And then she says, "I hate those jeans. You look so frumpy." She calls me frumpy,
Oh.
and she's like, I have a tendency to dress frumpy, and I guess in my mind I look fat when I do that. And then it just spawned this whole thing of I should probably just make an effort to dress a lot better than I do now because I look like an
I
idiot
noticed when we
every
went to
day.
lunch this week that you
And-
had upped your game.
And so I have.
Did you have the rhinestones on your jeans?
No, I don't do that.
not-
They were just
And
big.
in an
Bedazzled.
afflicted shirt?
He's not bedazzled.
I just
The
tend
TKO
I
shirt?
tend to be a
Wearing
fat.
his Axe body
Yeah.
spray.
Stop. Let him talk.
I tend to have that fat guy syndrome
Yeah.
where I wear clothes that are way too big for me because I think I look fat or whatever. So, I don't know.
That's where I am because I held out long. You get to a point where you hold on to your, like I should have sized up a long time ago, and I thought I'll lose some weight, but instead I got fatter, and then I was like, I'm just gonna start wearing.
Well, it's comfortable when you wear like a double extra large T-shirt.
Yep.
But you look like an idiot.
Do you?
Right.
Do you know
Yeah,
that's
probably.
ultimately what started my fitness journey, like at all, was basically I started off like late teens, early 20s as a size 32, went to a 34, went to a 36. And then it was time to buy a size 38 pants. And I was like, hell no. And that's actually when I started running and doing all the things.
So what do you wear now?
Oh man, that's so cruel.
That was not meant to be cruel at all. That
He's
was
like
not.
38. Just kidding.
That was not meant to be cruel
30,
in the least. I was just
33,
curious as to what.
33.
No,
That's what you
I-
wear is 3330.
That's what these pants are they have on her.
I am somewhere between a 34 and a 36, depending on the jeans, or depending on the pants, but generally between 34 and 35.
I think, am I 4032 or 3832? One of those. I've been as big as, I was creeping up to 44s, and then I said, I got to do something about it. Now I'm just going to creep back on up, see what happens. I think I can make it there.
I think that I have a theory that the better you look, the better people will treat you.
Oh, 100%. Because the world is judgmental, and
Yeah,
and I think I would actually say more accurately, the better you feel like you look,
Sure.
the better the world treats you, because it's
You're just
confidence
projecting
and
that out
everything.
there.
Yeah, you're projecting that, and the world feeds off of how you project yourself.
Right,
But
right.
one still feeds into the other.
Yeah. I agree with that for sure.
So, hey.
Awkward silence.
Well, it looked like he was going to say something.
Well, you've been looking like you were going to say something for a while now, and I was going to give you the chance.
Oh,
He was
I was
throwing
just
it to
going to
you.
do an office quote, and I just decided to keep my mouth shut.
For like 10 minutes, you've been thinking about it?
What? No? Yeah? I mean,
Okay.
Jack and Tam
I'm always
played the
thinking about
bells last
office
night.
Yes, she did, and she did a
And she
fine
sang.
job, and she sang. She's a utility player, man. She can do it all.
I was quite impressed. Not that I expected to not be impressed, but it was quite the concert. Enough to lull me almost to sleep. I did doze off. I mean, it's church. I almost dozed off a couple times, but the music was just that good and that consistent, and it was just very much dozing off kind
Well,
of
thank
situation
you.
I may
for me.
doze off before 8:10 here in a second.
well, I appreciate y'all
'Cause you-
coming.
'Cause you've
We
been
had a
up.
Christmas program last night at our church, and Amanda played the handbells, and she's in the choir. And so she sang in the choir with an orchestra, and that orchestra was something else. And the whole
thing
everybody
was
just did a
amazing.
bang-up
Yeah,
job.
the whole thing was amazing.
And so many people came to support you. That was awesome.
That meant a lot. That was, I looked out there a few times and got choked up. It was emotional to have running friends, come and be supportive.
Take off
I've
their
not
gym
had
clothes.
friends yet.
Take a shower.
Wear real clothes and makeup and
Yep.
brush their hair and
People
came
look
out there
different.
and- yeah. We all got a picture together to prove it.
Did we repost that to LHRL, or was that just on Melissa's feed? Well, you should repost that to LHRL.
Oh, no, I just got the pictures.
No. Melissa's pictures.
Oh,
She
I thought
posted it.
Okay, she didn't send me hers either.
She posted it online, like almost immediately after the event yesterday. But anyways, it was good. It was amazing, and happy that we went and were able to be there.
Speaking of style, do you know Teresa pretty well?
Not well enough to probably discuss her style.
She looks like she's got good style.
She
showed
does
up
She
at
looked
the
sharp
thing, and
yesterday.
she looks like somebody that knows how to dress.
She looks like the kind of person that just goes into her closet and throws some shit on and comes
And it
out
looks
looking
cool.
stylish every time.
Yeah.
Like she's got that personality, one, but she also probably has that wardrobe, would be my guess.
So I put on a shirt and a sweater yesterday, and my slacks and my sambas, and I asked Amanda, I said, "Is it a dumb question to ask you if I can wear sambas with this outfit?" And she said, "Yes."
It's a dumb question.
I said, "Yes, it's a dumb question," or "Yes, I can wear sambas with this outfit." She said, "Yes, it's a dumb question. Cannot wear sambas with that outfit."
Son of a...
So I put on churchy shoes. Me and Grayson both at the same time were wearing churchy shoes. It was a good time.
I went on a training run this weekend.
How did that go?
Didn't die.
Didn't die.
That's good.
What did you run, like 10 miles?
I ran 10 miles, which I was super happy with myself. So I met Dawn and Teresa out at Shelby Farms. The plan was 10 miles. At about mile 1.5, 2, and 2 1/4, I hurled.
Oh,
But I kept running.
Were you hungover or you just
No, I
just
was
too
having
much?
bad acid reflux issues.
Okay.
And running exacerbates that for me. So, but then all of a sudden I was fine. So we did the Road Race Series 10K course, which goes out like through the community garden area and then comes back up through the Penal Farm and catches the green line back into Shelby Farms. When we got back to the green line, they turned right, and I assumed it was because like Teresa was out in the lead and she just didn't know where we were going. But Dawn and I had discussed, we're going to turn left because it's a 10K course, so 6 miles, but we're going to do 10 miles. So we're going to turn left on the green line, 2 miles out, 2 miles back, and then finish up the course, and that gives us 10 miles. They turned right, and I was like, if I turn right, I'm going to do 10K and I'm going to be done. So I turned left. They turned right. They did 10K. They were done.
And they had intentions of doing 10 miles?
They started the day with the intention
Yep.
of 10 miles, but Dawn was having some stomach issues or something like that.
You
so
had a really good time. It looked like
I was not
ran it
mad at
well.
all. Like it became very much a struggle. If you looked at my split times, my first 5 miles I was 10:30, 10:45 pace, and my last 5 miles I was more like 11:45, 12-minute mile pace. But considering how little I have done, I was happy with that. But I got to start doing that more and more and more. Houston Marathon is January 18th or 19th, I think.
Ooh.
And then
I've got a
As
half
soon as-
marathon the weekend before that.
as soon as I finish the Houston Marathon, then I will actually start trail running and preparing for Sylamore.
I
which is in
too ran
February.
10 miles
I saw that.
yesterday. Or you were on Saturday.
I ran Saturday. You ran yesterday. Yeah.
How did your run go?
Whew, boy, I suffered through it.
Not as good as the week before. It's funny how that goes.
Well, we had
His
a Christmas,
time was significantly
we
better
had
than
a-
mine. Let's be clear about that.
we had a Christmas party the night before. So
That'll throw a wrench in things.
yeah, so I started out and I was like 8:30 pace, 1 mile, 8:40 pace, 2 miles, 9-minute pace, 3 miles. I was like, okay, this is too much. So I had to slow down a little bit, but I did it. I did not quit. I wanted to quit, but I did not quit.
That's good.
I ran all 10 miles of it.
And see, I'm totally in a run-walk phase right now of my life, and I'm totally happy with it.
Well, that's what I did. I was running, and I guess I had too much coffee, and sometimes you get that caffeine rush, and you're like, yeah, man, I could do this all day. And then like, oh, I can't do this all day. So then I was just trying to run too fast because I guess once I set that pace, I try to stay on that pace.
Well, that's what feels normal after a couple
And
of
so
months.
then I said, look, stop. So I stopped and walked for a minute. And then I switched to like 4-minute run, 1 minute walk.
That's what I was doing.
4-minute run, 1 minute walk. And it worked out so much better. It was like 10-minute pace. It was fine.
I have found I do better just slowing my pace down and holding in a steady run.
You've always
Then
been
do the
really good at
4
that.
minute
You
one.
are misconsistent. Like, the rest of us are going to run fast, run slow, run fast, run slow. And you're eventually going to catch us because you are just...
Yeah, it's
my
slower, but I
pace.
can hold in it forever.
I have a problem that I wonder if anybody else has. Sometimes I'll get a song stuck in my head before I run, and that song will be stuck in my head, and my feet are moving at that
100% that's the
that
thing.
pace, and I could get a slow song in there, and it will be I can't get it, I can't work it out, and I could get a too fast song in there, and I'm like
Not the song you're listening to, the song you have in your head.
right. No, I don't listen to anything. It's
I
like,
think the Nike app, if not the
Will
Nike
do.
app, some app, like basically you set the cadence and it goes out and finds music
Yes.
that's at
Right.
that cadence for you because of exactly that.
Right.
Like that is 100% a thing.
Yesterday, it was some 21 Pilots song. It was just happened to be stuck in my head, and I couldn't get it out of my head, and I was moving at that pace, and that's why I was like 8:30, and I was like, you got to slow down, and I just couldn't slow down, and I was like, okay, this hurts. After like 3 miles, I was like, you have to. That's why I stopped and walked, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do these intervals, forcing myself to slow down, So, anyway.
I need to get with you at some point and get you to re-familiarize me with some pose drills because I am heel striking like a Murph.
Don't want to do that.
Like I was 4 miles into the run, and I could feel it in my heels, like I had been heel striking that hard. So, and I wear minimalist shoes,
Yeah,
so
you were.
I
was gonna say.
feel every one of those. So I gotta work on that.
Vaughn, assuming that you're still employed, you must have done well at the office party and didn't show your ass or anything like
This
that.
was our friend Scott Hollis's office party.
Oh,
His wife-
okay.
his
So
wife's
it was
party.
showing your ass would be
My
encouraged.
wife works there. No, I don't think so.
No?
No. We had a great time. My wife works at Scott's law firm, and they had their Christmas party last night. Or Saturday night. Yeah. So
Which was you, the Hollises.
the Womacs, our friend Drew and Andrea,
Uh-huh.
and then they have another lawyer that works there and his wife. So there was 8 of us.
Cool. I saw a thing on Twitter that was about office party tweets, and
Yeah.
one guy said, just remember, you cannot win the office party. You can only lose it.
That's true.
There's some people that,
I won at my office party. My ugly sweater won.
sure enough, that's right. We went to Como Steakhouse, and Amanda, sure enough, had the ugliest
Oh,
sweater
man.
that
I
has ever
rocked it
been
out.
produced.
We have one
Yes.
on Wednesday at work all day long. It's the day.
That's your
It's-
agency day.
Yeah, and it's also an ugly sweater deal. Man, and we were in the store Saturday, and I found the best sweater. And it was a ugly sweater, but it had Santa on the front with all these muscles flexing, and then it had barbells on it, and it said Gaines, Christmas Gaines or something. I was like, this shirt is perfect. And something happened. The line was too long, and I hung it up on a thing, and we ended up leaving and going to Target. And then we came back, and it was gone, and I couldn't find it.
Oh,
So I
man.
had to buy
Son
a
of a-
different shirt. It's like a blue one with this ugly shark on it. It's pretty nasty looking. But
Well, Amanda's was so funny because I think at some point it was intended to be a special sweater for someone.
Sure.
There's this cat that looks like it looks like it's been run over or it's in the process of getting run over. But it's almost like somebody made that for like their grandchild or something.
did you
and-
find it at Goodwill or something?
I found it on Etsy. Some lady has like a legit like old Christmas sweater shop. And I was flipping through and I saw it and I'm like, buy.
It's pretty vintage. It doesn't look like the
it's
sweaters
very well made.
that
It's
are
a very
made
nice
for
sweater, but it's just
old Christmas
I'll try to find a
sweaters.
picture of it from our party.
It's fun.
Like first time ever making a sweater. Let me try and do.
Yeah.
Let me try and do a what do they call it? A portrait of my cat.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like.
Turned out terribly.
Yes.
Let's see if I can find
But
it.
by that time, they were past the point of no return. That was the only gift they had for Grandma, and she's getting that sweater. Let me tell you about my ATC story that happened. It's a 2-day story. I'll try not to take 2 days.
It's going to take 2 days to tell it?
It could. It's somebody's talking to their therapist for at least 2 days about this. So I'm leaving ATC, and as I'm leaving, this other lady is leaving. And so she holds the door open for me so we can both walk out. And so then we're kind of, I've got this whole convict look, and, I'm really paranoid about like creeping people out that I don't know. And so we're walking in the same direction. So she kind of stops to like let me pass, but I've already gone with the fake. Like I'm looking at my phone. I'm going to hang back for a little while. So we're kind of stuck in this stalemate. So she continues to walk. So I walk with her, but kind of behind, and turns out we're parked right next to each other. So we walk all the way to our car. She's stopping and like looking back at me periodically. So I get in my car, I do my thing, I'm getting ready to leave, and I look over, and she happens to look over right at the same time, so we make eye contact. Like we had both sat in our cars for like 2 or 3 minutes.
She called 911 at that point.
Well, as I continue, we pull out. I go one way, she goes the other. I text Amanda to see if she wants something from Starbucks. So she goes down Goodman, I guess. I take Old 78. I pull in right behind her at Starbucks. So here I am. Now, I'm sure she was already on the phone with her husband or the police. So I go home. I tell Amanda about it. The next morning, I get up at like 5:30. I'm up at ATC at like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. I've got my wallet and my phone, my earbuds and all that shit in a towel. And so I'm lifting weights, and I thought, well, I'll just put this in the treadmill, like the treadmill over in the far corner, and I'll go and use that later. There's like 3 people in there. So I put it in the cup holder. Well, that same lady walks in and gets on the treadmill 2 treadmills over from where I'm going. So now I don't have any choice but to like go and get on the treadmill like right next to her. And I'm sure I didn't know whether I should get my stuff and move, if that would have been more awkward, or if I should just get on the treadmill.
That's probably what I would have done.
Got your stuff and moved?
Yeah.
I probably should have,
I would
but I
have just
didn't.
No,
got on the treadmill
I don't
and
think
ran.
what you did was wrong. I mean, I think it's just an awkward situation and you just push through it or whatever. But I wouldn't. I probably would have just grabbed. I probably would have grabbed my shit and just left and not even
Should have
gotten on
done
the
that.
treadmill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should have just never gone back.
Just leave the stuff.
ATC.
I don't even actually need it.
And see, what's funny is she's going to try to report him, and it's listed under me. So then they're going to find
Why
out
would you
that
try to report him for what?
For
being
stalking.
creeper.
Creeper.
Just for looking the way that I did.
Oh,
Just for not being
There's my sweater.
that's an awesome sweater.
not being what you would call a handsome man.
And I wore like the little stocking
Disagree, my
pants.
friend.
I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Oh, January, is it 3rd? The Herb Parsons?
4th.
January
4th and
4th.
5th.
Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
January 4th, we're going to have the first and last annual LHRL unofficial John Manuel cannot be there 5K-ish maybe marathon at Herb Parsons.
Okay.
I have to be out of town that weekend.
Do you really?
I do.
Where
I
are
thought
you
we
going?
already, didn't we already talk about this?
We
Where
did. You should have already put it in your calendar.
Like, none of us were going to be there. We like picked a
It's-
day and nobody's going to be there.
It's on my calendar and something I have to go to.
So this was on your calendar first,
Correct.
and you changed it.
Well, something was better.
Not better. I have to go see my parents in Florida.
Okay. Oh,
You going to let that slide?
yeah. Vaughn, you going to be there?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think I am.
I really wanted
I'm running
to be
Hill and
there.
Dale,
I really
so-
wanted to be there.
That's right. You're running Hillendale.
Yeah.
So you have to show up. Because he's going to start at 6 a.m. So if you're not there at like 7:30 or 8 when everybody else starts,
Right.
then everybody else could be like WTF.
I think we already talked about this. Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people.
And then I
out
got a
there.
long message from TJ that I haven't replied to.
I was going to
yet.
say TJ was trying to coordinate something too after we talked about it. So
He's trying to like make a big event out of it.
He's
Cool.
He's going to be our RD for the LHRL experience.
Melissa and I saw him at St.
Nice.
Jude
And
running.
he's going to be the one to make sure you jump out of a helicopter.
He'll do it. Yep. Awesome. I'm glad he's on that. It'd be nice to have a big
Steve
fun
Wilkes says
event.
if you run by yourself, Wilson, you'll win the race on the 4th.
Every time.
That's right.
Something else that we need to talk. You weren't here last week, so demerit, and you didn't listen to the podcast.
Sorry.
Double demerit. But we need to have Yaya's Grammar Corner. Last week we discussed ran, have ran,
yeah.
run, had run.
I know the answer now. I looked it up.
You did. Okay. Well, my mom, who's affectionately referred to as Yaya by the grandchildren, she called immediately.
That's grandma in Greek, I think.
and
She's
gave
watching.
me- it is something like that. And gave you tell me what you learned, and I'll tell you what I learned.
Yeah, you tell us what you think is the right answer, and he's going to tell you that you're wrong.
Don't ever say have ran. Always say
ran.
have run.
Have run, okay.
Yep.
I have
So,
run
but can you
10
say I
miles.
ran? I ran 5 miles, but
No, you can say
I ran 5 miles today.
but not I have ran 5 miles.
Right.
anytime there's a helper
Never
word
say have ran.
in front of it.
Say that
Then
again?
anytime there's a helper word, have, had,
Yeah.
then
Are you-
it's going to be.
Are you making this up? Because when you said you got the phone with her, you couldn't remember what she said.
I wrote it down.
Oh, okay.
I've got it typed up right here.
So go
Are
ahead.
you saying Yaya made it up?
No, I'm saying that you made it up because when you got the phone,
'Cause
I
if you
asked
don't
you
think
to
she's right-
explain. You said, I don't know. I don't remember what she said.
I don't like you arguing with my mom.
So if you're saying have run, what are you trying to say with the helper word?
It's
said-
always going to be run.
It's always going to be run.
it's always
Never
gonna-
say run.
Okay,
Yeah.
if there's a helper word, it's going to be run. Okay.
Right, and you
but,
can say,
but
I
you
run-
can say I ran 10 miles or I have run 10 miles.
Right.
I
I ran, there's no helper word. I have had, I don't know what other examples
Yeah.
there are for helper words.
I run every day.
I guess if
Right.
it would be a noun and
I
anything,
ran every day
it's going
last
to be
year.
Brian has run every day this year so far.
has, have, had. That's another one.
Has not run.
Every day. Ouch. Ouch.
I not run.
So glad I came back.
I not ran would not be correct. I have not run.
Okay.
So it would be I have not run,
I have not run every day this year.
which I would have said have not ran.
I will say I've always said ran. I think on the last week I said I've ran St. Jude 10 times.
Yeah, that's what I'd say too.
And that's my habit to say that, but you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say I've run St. Jude 10 times.
Is Yaya a stickler for the English language, or
Oh,
is
yeah.
she
Yes.
professionally
Yes, both.
trained?
She was both.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'm sorry.
She was a senior English teacher at one
Senior
point
English
in time.
teacher. That's enough said.
But I also,
And she's also just highly educated, highly intelligent.
But I also
I'm
asked
glad I
Siri,
didn't
so-
know that when I talked to her on Sunday.
Yeah, you got to be aware. But it's all right. She'll let you know. It's nothing for her to.
It's so funny. I've got a good friend, Beth Sanders, that shows up to give camp every year, and she is a stickler for the English language. She will not correct you, but if you ask her which is correct, she will very politely tell you like what is the proper way to say or write a thing. But she's pretty gracious about it, even when she does that. So
Some people are really good. I'm not. I don't know the rules.
I work very hard at trying to speak properly.
I use Grammarly, the service. and
Yeah.
It works really hard for me. So I think it does a pretty good job.
It's so funny. I've realized sometime in the last year, I've become aware of the fact that, you know, the difference between like somebody says, "Can I do this?" or "May I do that?" You know, like the proper thing is, you know, like "May I go?" Like if your kids are asking you, it's not "Can I go outside?" You know.
I don't know.
It's-
Can you?
Yeah, exactly. It's "May I go outside?"
I
Right?
say that all the time.
Okay, and so
I don't know. Can you?
Well, no, so I don't say that, but if somebody says, "Can I do such and such?" I said, I will say, "You may," or "Yes, you may," or like I will reply with "may," as opposed to, I won't correct them, but I've noticed that I do that.
Just Just a subtle snark.
Yeah, just the subtle, exactly. Because most of my snark is not subtle, so
Right.
that's my one. That's my one.
And that keeps them on their toes. They're like, huh.
I don't even know that I don't think
Was
most
he
people are aware of
condescending
it.
me, man?
Yeah. Usually he's outwardly condescending. Was he being secretly condescending? Undercover condensation.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that what
said
they-
you got it right.
We got it right. We passed. Ding, ding.
We are smarter than we were last week.
That's right. That's what you get from the. That's the kind of
is-
content that you get from the show. Is you come on here and you never know what you're going to learn.
It's almost as smart as Sesame Street.
It really is. Yeah,
You know?
it kind of is. It is like a fitness version of Sesame
And
Street.
you're like
I hear
Big
that all
Bird.
Oh man.
I don't know what that makes me. Well, I know who the Grouch is.
We know who the Grouch is.
Oh,
Are you
man.
the Cookie Monster?
I'm the Cookie Monster. Boy.
I just want to reiterate, and we've had this conversation in other channels, but I feel like I leveled up by the fact that I met Yaya last night. And I didn't even hear the comment, but I repeated the comment that you posted in Slack. And Katie said, oh, yeah, she definitely said that. That the fact that she knew who, she's like, we've never met in person, but I know who Big Thirsty is.
Yep.
And she said Big Thirsty.
You are leveling up when you meet the Yaya. She's a piece of work. She listens every week. It's awesome. She loves Lift Heavy Run Long. She
I don't even think my parents know that I'm on a podcast.
she keeps up with the group. You know what's going on there. So she's awesome.
Good people.
She is coming over on Friday because we're going to have our Christmas on Friday morning. That's kind of an odd time to do Christmas, isn't it? 4
But
days,
to each their
5
own.
days
This
ahead of
coming
time.
Friday.
Yep.
We're going to Chattanooga for Christmas.
What do your kids do about Christmas morning?
Well, we're coming home. We're leaving Chattanooga to come back home on Christmas morning. And so they'll go and
Where
have.
is Santa going to visit them at?
Santa's going to visit Friday.
Yeah, Santa's he's out of the closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But that's great that it's that way for you.
We've already talked to Santa ahead of time. They're cool with Santa coming
All
Friday.
right, there you go.
If you recall, we dropped that bomb on Andy on Christmas Day, like 2 years ago. 3
Yeah, we
years
talked about
ago.
this last time.
Did we?
We did.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
we don't.
we got kids
Nope.
listening.
So instead of carrying all that stuff with us to Chattanooga, we asked the kids what they wanted to
Yeah,
do.
we asked because I asked that we reiterated on Christmas morning, Santa will have already come on this coming Friday. They're like, yeah, that's fine. Because they're like, we don't want to drive all the way and carry all that stuff and then have to pack it all
Right,
up and
right,
carry
right.
it all back. I was like, oh yes. So they're not going to do their half day at school on Friday. So
That's how Santa really gets around the world. It's not really one day. Like some people put in a special request and he actually takes like 2 weeks and he just shows up to random houses and
That's
he
right.
really cuts out half the world that way and
Did you see
makes it so much
Did
easier.
you see the Walmart sweater that had Santa with doing lines of Coke on it?
yes,
And
Yes.
then Walmart had to apologize and pull it off the shelves. Or
I didn't know if that was real or not.
well, who knows what you see is real.
Well, either way, it was that was apparently in a Walmart
but
store.
everybody else was saying, how else do you think he gets all these houses over?
That's fantastic.
it's called snow for a reason.
It makes me laugh at that scene from The Office where he's like, remember back in the 80s when before everybody knew how bad cocaine was for you? And he was like, man, but they sure could move paper.
So y'all are going this coming Friday?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to have a podcast this coming Monday.
that's correct. I should have let you know that.
Good to know.
I was thinking we were
They'd
going
show up and be like,
I was
"Hey."
thinking we were going to have a podcast that launches on Wednesday, Christmas Day.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we're not going to have a podcast.
But we get a day off.
But y'all can come to Chattanooga and we can do a podcast there.
No, I can't. Brian can. He's Mr. World Traveler.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, what? Why am I the world traveler?
Oh, he's
Just
traveling around
go
everywhere.
But he doesn't like to podcast more than a week in a row.
In a row. Man, I gotta keep the people wanting.
That's right. That's good strategy.
It's the fans.
Okay, did y'all hear about that guy Did y'all see the video of that guy in the marathon and the reporter lady and the dude smacked her on the...
Hit her in the butt? And he
Yeah.
was like a youth pastor or something.
He's getting charged with sexual battery.
No
I thought it was a
way.
misdemeanor. Is that a misdemeanor?
I don't know.
You know,
Can you say that again?
I don't.
What is that called?
Misdemeanor?
A misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor?
Mister?
It's a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor.
He's a misdemeanor.
Mr. Meanie.
I'm going to get like shit for this one. But I could totally see that being a really bad, like, I don't think he's a bad person.
I agree.
I can see that
thought
being
about
like
that.
a
Yeah, just a
really
totally
bad decision that he made in the spur of the moment. It was like, oh.
And see,
like,
the
immediately
problem
after he did it,
is-
he's like, oh.
Yes.
I should not have done that.
The problem is like, if you don't come down on, I totally agree. The guy made a bad choice, but like bringing up criminal charges just. But I'm not I'm not the person that got their ass slapped, so I shouldn't minimalize it as it not being a thing. But
I don't know.
It seems so extreme to charge him with any kind of a crime.
I thought it was funny, but
I don't know. I mean, it's the world we live in, though. I mean,
It's the cancel culture.
It's the what?
The cancel culture.
What's that?
That's where you do something or you did something in the past and someone finds out about it, you're screwed for the rest of your life.
And so where does the term cancel come from?
You can't cancel it out. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just made
like
that
it's
up.
forever logged in history,
Well, no, you're canceled. Like you are no longer allowed to
exist and be a person.
You have no
Yeah.
more input into this society.
Well, back to what you said. I agree with just the excitement and seeing someone be like, "Ha, there's a camera, like watch this." And the first thing that comes to mind just happened to be to slap her in the ass. Like, I don't think the guy was being perverted.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
But Sean Hilson slapped me in the ass and I didn't
Are you gonna
press
file suit?
charges, but I don't know what the statute of limitations
Well,
is.
Sean Hilson just got canceled.
But I'm going to
Sorry,
end
Sean.
him.
We're
He's
going to
done.
kick you off the North Mississippi Endurance Team.
I'm going
Isn't
to.
he like the president or something right now?
Too bad.
Yes.
Not anymore.
You ain't just slap anybody's ass around here,
can't.
especially not mine.
You can't.
I'm not just a piece of meat.
You can't just violate someone's
I've tried to tell
Personal
people
space.
that.
personal space that way.
I'll be in Scott Hollis's office tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's funny. When I was at the One More 24 Sober run, Melissa Bland is one of the race directors. I kid you not, it seemed to be like a known community thing to slap her ass as you came by on the loop. Like, she got her ass slapped. Like, I think.
How many
I don't
loops did
think
you
I'm
do?
exaggeration. Not. It wasn't like every person every time, but it was like every person did it once, if that makes sense. Like on one of the loops, they would catch her off guard and smack her in the ass, and it cracked me up. I was just like,
That's a lot of charges to file.
That it is.
It really is.
Yep.
she laughed about it every time. So she was either awkwardly laughing or it was just okay.
Would y'all like to hear about my NordicTrack problem?
Oh, yes. Did you tag them
Is this
last
still
time you
going
were
on?
This is still going on.
How is this still going
This is
on?
week 4, dude. This is week 4. Remember, this started with I would like to pay someone to come out here and look at this treadmill. And if it's under
It's still under warranty.
and
now.
if it's under warranty, let's give me whatever's happening. And then it turned into it's not under warranty.
because of transfer of ownership.
Go right.
Okay.
And then it turned into we can't talk to either of you. And then it turned into okay, we're going to get somebody out there. Here's your ticket number. Like, we're going to handle this. I've already gotten your ticket number. Didn't sound like there's going to be a charge. Like, we're going to take care of it.
And the only reason why I've gotten that far is because you've Twitter shamed them.
Is because I've Twitter shamed them. I've gone to their Facebook. I post stuff under their ads. I tag them on Facebook. And it's getting escalated. Every 3 days, it's getting escalated. It's getting escalated. But nothing ever happens. Nobody ever calls. How difficult is it to possibly have someone call and schedule an appointment? Which I posted NordicTrack's. I said, Lift Heavy Run Long episode number 173 will be live at 7:10 p.m. NordicTrack's customer service is garbage. and we're going to talk about that. Well, coincidentally, somebody called Amanda's mom to schedule an appointment within minutes of that. I don't know whether that's coincident or not, but they have called. So that's
So now,
Well,
so you know how to make the reservation. It's just whether you know how to
now
keep
it's good
the
somebody going to show up.
well, if nobody shows up, you should go to their headquarters and smack somebody on the ass. And then you'll get somebody's attention.
So frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. Just handle it.
Yeah, like at this point, like literally, it's like, why can't I just pay for this? Like, I mean, it's under warranty or whatever, but like that's where you were at originally was.
Yes.
I want to pay for this. Let me just pay for it, and they're the ones that sent you down this path of no lifetime warranty on that motor. We're going to help you out with that, and has made it last 6 weeks now, 5 weeks.
This is week 4.
4 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
That's
ridiculous.
crazy.
It's absurd.
I just want to run on my freaking treadmill.
Boo wants to run on a treadmill.
Not me.
We got to do something on it.
And you're just wasting away because you can't run at all if you don't have the treadmill, right?
You can't run without a treadmill. I mean, how the hell else are you supposed to run?
I don't run on road because of people driving like crazy people.
Well, week 4, huh? Dealing with the treadmill.
Week 4 dealing with treadmill. Hopefully,
Coincidentally, it's week 4 of training.
with the
just
Lift Heavy
wrapped
Run
up
Long
with-
app.
That's right.
How's that coming?
It's perfect. I ran 10 miles yesterday.
That's actually why I ran 10 miles this weekend, because Dawn is also following the
The same one that
the
I'm
50K
doing?
program, and she said, I have 10
Move
miles.
your microphone to your mouth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She said, I have 10 miles on my schedule this weekend. Do you want to run with me? And I was like, yes, I do.
So there you go. Next weekend we have to run 2 hours.
Well, next weekend we are doing the half Ironman Memphis run course. So we're going to run 13 miles,
Is that on
however
a
long.
trail?
Apparently part of it is.
Our
but
app says 2-hour trail run.
I'm not doing trail running right now, so that's
Well,
not-
Dawn has to. If she's signed up for on the app, then you have to.
So
She's required to do
I'm
trail
going to
running.
shame her.
there,
Or
there,
it's not going to work.
there is a part of the course where you leave the Chickasaw Trail and go through the high school's cross country course. A part of the
well, she has
Ironman
to
course.
stay on that for 2 hours.
No,
and then
no,
you
no.
have to
If she
go.
if she
2 hours.
steps if she steps off of the pavement onto a trail, it is a trail run.
Is that how that works? I've always been curious about the
doesn't have
rules.
to be all
Thirsty's
trail.
rules to trail running.
If I go out for 2 hours of exercise and I run for 10 minutes and walk for an hour and 50 minutes, I went for a run.
You ran, correct.
So
You have run.
So if you run 5 miles, one of them is on a trail and the rest is on pavement, that's a trail run.
and a pavement run simultaneously.
So there's no real percentage that has to be met.
No.
You just have to touch foot
Exactly.
on trail.
Exactly. That's
I'm with that.
how can Tunnel Hill be simultaneously certified as a road course and a trail course?
Is it?
Is it?
It is.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know you
It is
certified.
It is simultaneously certified as a 50 and 100 mile road course and trail course.
Isn't that something?
Speaking of Tunnel Hill, did you guys see on Twitter where Camille was griping about drug doping and stuff?
I didn't.
No.
I was wondering if you guys knew what was up with that.
I saw on Twitter today that she was talking about testing out nutrition training, and she was trying
Taco
out
Bell?
some new gels and Taco Bell in the middle of a trail. Like she had like a gel in one hand and like a Taco Bell, I'm assuming like taco or something in the other hand. And this is why I love her.
Well, what was she saying about?
I don't know. That's why I brought it up, because I didn't know the whole story, but she was complaining. Sounded like she was saying, that they need to test outside of competition for doping in the trail community or whatever it is.
It is ethically wrong for trail running, ITRA trail, and quartz program to act like we are being out of competition drug tested when we are not. I hope funding for this program and from World Athletics and WADA AMA can progress to independent out of competition testing.
Yeah, that's what I read today. So I was
Interesting.
I was just wondering. I guess they don't test trail. I didn't even know they tested
I didn't know anybody gave a shit.
Yeah. I don't know if.
Oh, she's going off. There's quite a few tweets here about it. Duly noted, the courts program is not WADA and AMA accredited drug testing. It's a health monitoring program, so there's no contribution to #CleanSport. It's wrong to continue to act like we're being out of competition tested. Trail running needs proper OOC testing.
Out of competition testing.
Eating is training for ultras. Practicing with my Unimed sports gels and Taco Bell.
Oh, man. Do you think Taco Bell sends her a buttload of tacos?
Just send me some gift cards. I mean, she's the reason why I haven't given up my Taco Bell, because it's obviously possible to be fast as fuck.
We get one of those taco packs every now and again. Go to Taco Bell and get you a 10-pack of tacos.
Oh, man. Do you get the Locos, the Dorito flavored ones?
No, I've never had that.
You've never had them?
I've not.
Do you like Doritos?
I do?
Please do that.
Okay.
Let me buy you a Taco Loco. You sang, last week you sang on the podcast for me, I would like to buy you a Taco
When's the
Loco.
last time you've ever eaten Taco Bell, period? See, this is probably the bigger challenge. It's not that he won't eat the Los Locos or whatever it's taco. It's that he just doesn't eat Taco Bell.
Well, I mean, it's been a couple months, maybe a few months.
What do you mean he doesn't eat Taco Bell?
What kind
He
of?
just said they eat Taco Bell.
I mean, we'll go and get one of those 10-pack tacos.
Do you think he's
things.
better than Taco Bell? Are you trying to say he's above?
He dresses better than Taco Bell.
He does dress better. He doesn't look like a person that would eat a lot of Taco Bell.
All right. Mission accomplished.
Vaughn leveled up too.
That's what he's looking.
Look at
He's
me.
trying to cover up his Taco Bell.
Trying to cover
addiction.
up all of my.
Jan Levison's office says, dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have.
Right. I just don't know
It's
what
still
the
not
job
going to
I want
change your
is.
insides, though.
No.
Just dressing.
That is all part of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You dress for the
Yes.
job you want.
So I went and had my sweat tested
Tell me about it.
by Precision Hydration Testing by BPC.
Yeah.
So I went over to their headquarters in Germantown, and they hooked me up to a machine and made my arms sweat, and they collected my sweat and told me I was a moderate sweater.
Do you have to exercise, or do they do something that just makes you sweat?
Nope, they just set these two little nodes on there, and you just sit and chat with them. And it's like I don't know if they do like electricity or what. It kind of sting. I mean, it doesn't sting. It just buzzes or something, and then they set like a collection thingy on there, and it collects your sweat.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That guy was on the show.
Yes.
And the whole idea is he tests you for the sweat, and then now he's going to sell you a product and tell you exactly how much of that product you should be drinking every certain minute or hour as you exercise.
No, well, he didn't do that. Well, they have products, but he said that there are other products. He didn't. He really truly didn't really push their product. He just said,
This is how much sodium you need.
Yeah, this is how much sodium you need.
Okay.
This brand has this much. This brand has this much, which is what you would need, per hour. Or we
anybody
have
that can do
these.
some math can figure out.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But some of the
I thought-
heavier sweaters, they have the more heavy duty tablets and
The
stuff.
salt
that
lick that you just
Yeah.
carry with you. Big whole piece of
That's
it.
who they kind of want to market to, is the heavy sweaters, because it's really hard to get that much sodium in. So then that's where they would probably catch you if you were a heavy
Where do you
sweater.
think you fall, Wilson?
I would have said a hellaciously raging sweater, but I've had a sweat test.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
it said I was a moderate sweater.
Okay.
Which the fact that I pour out a lot of sweat does not necessarily, in their terms, mean that I'm a heavy
Right.
sweater. It's
Like as far as
based on
salt.
what's passing out of the salt.
so if you intake enough water, then you could just be sweating out.
Yeah, just being juicy is not the same as
Being salty.
being salty.
Oh, I know how to be salty.
And
Are you #juicy or are you #salty?
But he's
Dale Sanford and his company is
BPC.
Precision
Precision
sorry.
Hydration. Well, BPC. It's
BPC is the training company, like their
that's who they're through.
that's
I
their
can't remember their
coaching
name.
company.
Best Performance something or something
I
like
think it's
that.
coaching.
Ooh, consultants.
performance coaching. and I can't believe I can't remember the name. I'm so embarrassed.
It's always been BPC is just the name that they are known by.
Okay, well, BPC.
That was on the back of their van when I pulled up.
Yeah.
And he, as an athlete, had problems with cramping.
Right.
And was actually taken to the hospital after, I guess, close to the finish of an Ironman or a triathlon. And so he has a real passion for it. And he does do that and then has product for which you can buy, and kind of like a program that you can buy. But he's not trying to get you there, get your sweat. And
right. But what I was saying was
he's not a snake oil salesman.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was he's got it worked out to where you can take the tube of this thing of ours and do exactly this many tablets for whatever level you are on, so that you don't have to work
all
it
the
out.
Guesswork is gone.
I don't need to go figure out how much Tailwind I need to drink.
Right.
When I have this specific thing that I know exactly what I can take.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to my method, which is, I think I'm cramping a little bit. I'm going to take 12 salt capsules and eat as much as I can.
Or you don't even have to look on the back of your
happens.
Tailwind bag to go, look at my calculator. This is exactly how much this is. He can tell you, take one of these tablets every hour or whatever it is.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. I mean, at the point you figure out how much you're losing in an hour, you know how much you need to replace and blah, 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 blah. So.
I'm losing about 1,000 milligrams of salt per. I'm trying to think I'll have to look at my email again. It's like 942 milligrams
Per what?
per like 16 ounces or something of sweat that I have. I'll have to look at the email and see how it's like calculated out. But anyway,
I will probably do something like that in the next year. I have to convince myself that I'm actually going to train. I'm actually going to do the things I need to do to get ready for this half Ironman before I spend all the money. Because I want to get a new bike. I want to do this. I want to get my nutrition figured out. I want to do all those things. But I just have to get back into getting out there and doing the training. And one training run does not make a plan or authorize the spending of all the other things.
But that's why you buy the bike. That you buy a bike and you're guaranteed at least 2 bike rides. And that's why you sign up for an event, because the $100 that the event costs you, then that's going to get you a training run.
Okay.
At least one.
942 milligrams of sodium per liter of sweat.
But how many liters do you?
So he said that I would need to truly kind of really figure it out is way before I run, and then after I finish, or
How much does a liter of sweat weigh?
and then way after, and then figure out how many pounds I've lost.
Yeah, how much does a liter of sweat weigh?
I don't know. I'd have to figure that out.
I don't know what liters are. I don't know how to convert liters. Do you know how many
Google.
ounces
Yeah,
in a
don't you know what a
liter?
2-liter Coke is?
I mean, I don't know what it looks like, but how does that? Is a liter a half gallon?
No, it's more than a gallon. 2 liters is more than a gallon, I think. I don't know. You know what? I don't know.
A gallon is
I don't know.
about 7 pounds. A gallon of water.
You know that from your wrestling days?
A
I know it
liter
because of
is
mixed
33 ounces.
Oh.
Or 34 ounces.
34 ounces, and
That's
there's
about a liter.
128 ounces in a gallon. So a liter's a lot of sweat.
So he told me that, for my smaller runs, like an hour or two, I'm fine with water. Just take about 1,500 milligrams preload or whatever. And then I can go run and just use water. So I can run half marathons and just drink water, and that'd be fine.
Yeah, I ran a half marathon without a bottle last weekend, and then a 10 miles yesterday without a bottle.
Really?
Yeah, which was surprising because I've always been dependent on carrying some sort of water, but I don't have a water bottle right now, and I ruined I got depressed after the last long race that I did, so I just threw I threw my backpack in the garage and didn't take the bladder out of it, so it got all moldy.
Ew.
And so I had to throw the bladder away, so I don't have one of those either. So I don't have any weight unless I want to carry a cup of water with me. So I just ran without it.
A solo cup.
But I just think it's been good because I'm not so dependent on. Now I know I can run 10 miles without any water.
Yeah.
I think as far as calories and sodium, most people have enough to carry them through 2 or 2.5 hours of exercise.
If I ran out the door right now to our mailbox and back, I would sweat a liter. Probably.
I don't believe you.
It just would, but now we know it just wouldn't be very salty.
It just wouldn't be very
It would
salty.
just be juicy.
Right.
Oh God, y'all stop.
It would just be wet.
It would be moist.
That's what it would be.
Moist is better than juicy.
Oh, Stacy's listening too. I love that you just used that word.
I bet she screamed and just threw her phone down, turned it off.
Stacey, kale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the kales and phobias and things that they don't like, they're in our.
Let's go ahead and push all the buttons.
Well, you know, Gary.
All right, Gary, brace
is
yourself.
deathly afraid of ladybugs.
Ladybug.
I did not know that.
Yes.
He
He said they'll kill you.
they secrete a poison, and the fact that they travel in herds or whatever swarms herds.
They secrete a poison. This is all news to me.
And so he says anything that secretes poison in swarms can kill you.
The logic holds up if all those facts are true.
Are you
If all
sure
those
it's a
are-
ladybug? Because there's a bug that looks just like a ladybug. It's a slightly darker tinge that does do that to animals like that. Y'all know what that means. Anyway, and I always thought they were all ladybugs, but there's two different kinds that look alike. The ladybugs are solid, like fire truck red.
That's very true. I learned that recently.
And the other ones are like the color of my
Amanda's
pants.
But his
looking at-
fear apparently is ladybugs.
Okay.
Anyways, in our house, there's ladybugs get in there. We live in a log house. So these 3 ladybugs came together on our ceiling over the course of like a week or so. They came together
Made one giant
and
ladybug?
made a huddle, and they all 3 died right there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like they came together to die.
It was like the
Don't
ultimate
elephants or something do that?
ladybug
It was
death
just
match.
like they got together and took
Well,
a
I
bad
finally
shot
got
of
tired
heroin.
of seeing them frozen up on the crown
They
molding.
all got together and secreted their secretion.
Katie's apparently screaming at home. She's like, "How did you miss this discussion?" He went through the whole thing and was very animated. Apparently, he's had this conversation in front of me before about the ladybugs.
He's pretty passionate about he's very open about his phobia of ladybugs.
There's one bad kind of ladybug out there. They can bite and be aggressive and are harmful to dogs
Asian
and invade your
But they're not
home.
ladybugs.
who's
they're called
who's
something
making
else.
that statement?
That's what I was
The
talking
internet.
about.
Google
Oh, okay.
That's
I thought it was one
that's
of our
not good.
listeners. I
No.
wanted to know,
Asian lady beetles are the bad version of ladybugs.
Yes.
are they around here?
Yeah, and they crawl up.
They're in
like
Asia.
They crawl up in the dog's nose.
There.
I've seen it where they get on the roofs of their
Yeah,
mouth
They get
too.
up in their mouth. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crack.
I learned this a couple of years
Because
ago.
I check Charlie's mouth
Now I'm
sometimes during the
afraid of 'em.
summer to make sure he doesn't have
Yeah.
ladybugs in there.
Now I'm afraid to.
Check Thirsty's mouth, Amanda.
Oh my God. It's awful moist in there.
Oh man.
It just says they're bad for dogs, not humans. I don't think Gary
Right,
can
they're
die
not bad
from
for humans. They're
ladybugs.
bad for the doggies.
Well, that's why Gary's afraid of
Doggos.
them, because he loves his dog.
He's part doggo.
He's got
He's
2
part
dogs.
doggo.
We drove past the Kales the other night on our way home just because we wanted to see.
I want to see the lights.
Gary's got those spinning lights that you can
Like we
shine
have.
up against your house, and it
Okay.
looks like you can make them still, and it looks like you have lights up against your house.
Okay.
Well, Gary being Gary, he's got like 5 of them. So his house is just draped. It's badass looking. So we
Oh,
drove
does it?
by there. Yeah, it looks
Oh
good.
yeah, it looks good.
I've got one,
I was waiting for the punchline, but
And-
that's awesome.
and I was sitting on my computer doing my calls, and one of the teachers was like, "You've got like a green and red aura that is circling you," and I couldn't see it on through my
funny.
computer screen, and it's the light shining in from outside, and then another.
Did you say you shut up and don't worry about that?
You don't worry about my aura. That's a personal
That's
question.
none of your business.
You can't talk about auras.
My feng shui is my feng shui and no one else's.
Guess what?
We're out of time.
Man, it goes by so
173.
fast. I had something else to talk about.
What was
How
it?
about a 5-star review? Do you got one of those? to talk
No,
about?
I don't have one of those.
What?
Apparently, you have to offer people treats to. do a
Amanda
five-star
told me at lunch today that I need to get my prostate checked. You ever had
Yes.
your prostate checked?
Was she offering to check your prostate?
No, she
Doesn't she know how to do that?
Have you ever had that?
No, I have not.
I have.
They
Have
taught
you
us
really?
in pharmacy school.
So prostate cancer runs in my family.
Okay.
So I've had them.
You should have
It's
started
like
at
every
40. Start age 40, right?
I started at 30
Okay.
and then did it at 35 and then at 40 and now I do it every year at my physical.
I'm petrified of it. I'm gonna have to be put to sleep.
I mean, it's
It's not that bad.
It is that bad. It scares me. It scares the shit out of me.
All I know
I would.
in
I would
pharmacy
rather.
school.
I truly believe I'd rather die of prostate cancer.
It's funny because I remember the first time that they checked mine. I was actually sick. I think I actually had mine checked before I was 30 because I was sick in some way that they were like, okay, we just need to check and make sure that it's not this. And they're like, so we're going to check your prostate. And I was like, okay. And I just kind of stood there and they were like, you need, no. They, at that point, they're like, you need to drop your pants. And I was like, oh.
That prostate.
That's what we're gonna do.
I didn't. I had no clue where my prostate was. I swear to God, I didn't. I mean, I was that clueless about it, even though I had a family history of it. I was just like, didn't know that's how they checked it.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
So I'll never forget in pharmacy school when we went through the lecture on like the prostate and stuff. Our teacher, I got sent out in the hallway for this. Our teacher was like, if your normal prostate should feel like this, but if it feels like this, there's something wrong. And my best friend was sitting next to me. He goes, "Uh-oh." and I couldn't stop laughing, and they sent me out in the hallway.
She told me that at lunch today, and I thought, oh my God. That's
So I'll never forget that. So your prostate
know,
should feel
You
like
can't
that.
end a podcast any better way than talking about prostates. And how they should
Here's the
feel.
thing I want to say. My wife was terrible and avoided all of the regular checks that she should have had in her life, and that is part of the reason why things progressed as far as they did before they found it. So I would definitely advocate for you getting it checked and getting over your anxiety related to it, because we'd rather have you here and feeling
violated.
and violated than not here.
That's enough said.
So
That's
Thank you.
very,
Thank you.
yeah. Sold. Damn it.
You can tell us about your experience when you go do it.
Right.
I'll document it. Coming at you live.
We want the selfie cam, not the not the doctor cam.
Vaughn, you got
Not
that
the point of
camera?
view cam.
Lift Heavy Run Long,
Slow
number
motion.
173.
It's in the books.
Boom.